Greetings. I am happy to introduce to you the Foursquare strategy for reading, decoding, and word recognition. So what is the Foursquare strategy? Well, it is a graphic organizer for students to utilize when working on reading and writing literacy. This is a strategy that can be completed in large groups while partnering with peers or used as an independent tool. It is primarily used with reading, decoding, and word recognition. That means that it allows the users to break down the concepts that they are trying to learn. The common recommendation for grade level use is grades 1 through 5, though that is debatable, especially as we consider the strategy for intervention use and broadening the use across differing contexts. While in the context of reading and writing, the strategy can combine concepts of phonics, basic handwriting skills, sentence structure, spelling, and vocabulary acquisition. Our textbook uses the Foursquare strategy for the phonetic element of the TH sound. For this presentation, I am going to be using the strategy as a tool for vocabulary word introduction. There are a handful of different ways the graphic organizer can be set up for students. Students can independently fold a piece of paper into two halves, labeling each corner 1 through 4. Or you can pre-make the graphic organizers with specific headings for students to use as guidance. Essentially, it doesn't have to be a complex system as long as it is a system that matches the needs of the students and matches the purpose of the learning target. In my example of the Foursquare strategy for vocabulary use, I start in box 1 with identifying the vocabulary word. I transition into box 2 for defining the word. Next is the application of the word by using it in a sentence. Lastly, I end with finding examples of synonyms of the word. Again, this can be altered in many ways to serve different purposes. If I was focusing on parts of speech, I would perhaps have students identify whether the word is a noun, verb, or adjective. If I wanted students to use more skill application, I could use the vocabulary word as the heading of the page or center it in the 4 boxes, providing another space for an activity. Vocabulary words could be words identified by students or pre-selected words by the teacher. For example, I completed a daily buzzword activity in my class of 6th grade students. This is where I use cross-curricular words from math, science, art, and social studies in pre-teaching and reteaching definitions. The Foursquare graphic organizer could be a tool the students use on a regular basis as I introduce each word. The example from page 160 in our textbook uses the phonetic sound of TH as the main theme for the Foursquare strategy. The text introduces differing applications for each box, while all revolving around that TH speech sound. If speech sounds, letter blends, and/or digraphs are a primary concern for spelling and word recognition, the Foursquare strategy can be paired with other tools, such as Words Their Way spelling lists and sorts. A link is provided on the resources slide to locate information on Words Their Way based vocabulary tools, or it can be easily searched via Google. Again, these core themes in the Foursquare strategy are based primarily on the specific needs of a student or paired with grade-specific standards that may require scaffolding-based teaching. The Foursquare graphic organizer and strategy can be used across many areas in learning. It is a versatile strategy for specific and complex forms of direct interventions, or it could be used in the simple context of core content areas that may require concept scaffolding. The textbook suggests the grade recommendation at the primary level, but I think it's important to consider this strategy as we work with secondary level students who may benefit from the simplicity of the form. There are few limitations as long as the strategy applies to the needs of the students while matching the purpose of the learning target. Included is the list of the 2 resources mentioned for this presentation, one being our RTI Success textbook, and the other being a link for the Pearson website, which is the publishing company that produces the Words Their Way series. If the hyperlink does not work, you can Google the Words Their Way series and it will lead you to the appropriate web page.